Hello, what's up everyone? Southside Braves here, and today for you we got another episode of Gridiron Update. I am recording this one literally an hour before game starts, so hopefully it gets uploaded at least at the start of the games or real close. So it is 11 a.m. where I'm at, so you see the sun behind me, so sorry about the webcam being a little off. But yeah, let's jump right into this and get this thing going. So first off, we're going to talk about some games from last week. First game we always talk about is Steeler game. So Steelers-Packers here. Steelers pick up yet another win while getting outgained. The motto of the Steelers this year. Very stereotypical Steeler game where we could have skipped the whole thing, put the ball on the 15-yard line for the Packers at the end of the game, say you got one play to win it and see what happens, and the Steelers get a pick. Run games are going for the Steelers, though. 205 yards on the ground. Jalen Warren and Najee both got going. So that's a formula to beat good teams, is if you can run the ball and keep it out of their hands and then let your defense do what it does, that's the way you can beat the Chiefs and the Dolphins and whoever else you want to throw out there in the AFC, the Ravens. Don't let their offense be on the field. If you can run the ball, eat up clock, that is a way to beat those teams. Now, the Packers' run defense isn't phenomenal. So I want to see if we can do that this week against the Browns. That's going to be a big telling game. If we can run on the Browns, we're in good shape. So, question always being, is Kenny Pickett any good? And that it's an irrelevant question at this point. And that for us to be good, we don't need him to be good. We need to make some timely throws and rely on the run game and the defense. So that's what we did in this game. Oh, and I just realized, I forgot to put the score up. Score was 19-23 Steelers. So 6-3 the Steelers are, and I'm pumped about it. So yeah, let's move on to the next game that I saw, and I'm kind of disappointed I saw it. Jets and Raiders. This one, Raiders win 16-12. Pretty terrible football game. The Jets are just trying to hold on until Rodgers can get back, and it looks less and less likely they're going to be able to. That team might be out of the playoff picture by the time Rodgers gets back. Raiders, I guess, are playing better once they made the coaching change, but not by much. They beat a bad Jets team here. Like I said, and it sucks for the Jets because their defense is so good. That Jets defense is phenomenal. So, but I don't really got much else to say here. This was a pretty terrible football game to watch, but the Raiders do win it 16-12. And the last game, the Monday night game, Broncos and Bills, and this might have been the surprise of the week. Broncos win this one 24-22, and I don't know which side you want to tell this from. Broncos, are they back in the race? Like, they've won some games, they look better. People are starting to get high on the Broncos again. I don't want to do that, because you know I'm always higher on the Broncos than I should be, so I'm not ready to jump back on the bandwagon yet. I would rather talk about this from the Bills' perspective. Josh Allen in that offense has made so many mistakes. They fired the OC after this game. They're in big trouble. Their season is not where they want it to be. They might benefit more than anyone else from Joe Burrow going down, though, on Thursday, because they need to get that last wild card spot, because I don't know if they'll catch the Dolphins. They could, but I would feel better about Dolphins winning the division. So having an extra wild card spot back in play that the Bengals presumably aren't going to compete for at this point opens the door for the Bills to get back in the playoffs. And I do still think they're one of the most talented teams in the league, but they are just one of the most inconsistent teams in the league. When they play their best, they can beat anybody. But like this game you saw here, they have the ability to lose to anybody. So they need to get it going, and they can. We'll see if they do. So that's all I'm going to say about this game. So let's take a look at how I did on my picks last week. If I can find, there they are. Last week out of the 13 games I picked, because there was 4 teams on bye, and then the Thursday game I didn't pick. So we were 8-5 last week, not too bad. I'll take that. So yeah, that being said, let's jump ahead and look at my power rankings for the week. First off, your bottom 8. I feel more confident about my bottom half than my top half here. But again, I think they're pretty, for the most part, like, you know who the top half and the bottom half are. Whatever order you want to put them in, feel free. I do believe the Giants are the worst team in football now, especially with Tommy DeVito playing quarterback. And I'm from Illinois. I like rooting for Illinois football, so seeing an Illinois quarterback in the league is cool, but he's not very good. Patriots at 31 pleases me so much as a Steeler fan. I hate the Patriots. Seeing them this bad is awesome. Next up, you got the Commanders. Like I said, they kind of punted on the season, got rid of some key pieces, and that they're looking towards the future. Some positivity in Sam Howell as their quarterback, but like I said, they're not playing for this year. Panthers, another team not really playing for this year. Have a win at least on the board, but they're down at 29. Titans, I was a little harsh on this week. We were kind of Will Levis era started. They're going to be better, but it doesn't help if you can't block for the guy. So they took a step backwards this week, a pretty big step backwards in my mind. So they're down to 28. Cardinals up at 27. They did look like a better football team with Kyler at the helm. Played, I want to say good, but not great. Like, first game back, though, so some positivity there for the Cardinals and Kyler. Colts go up to 26. Rams at 25. Not much to say about either of those teams. Kind of, for the most part, stayed on par with what we've seen from them. So, 17 to 24 here. Packers fall 5 spots to number 24. Again, I was kind of impressed with them very early on in the year, and they've disappointed since. Jordan Love made some good throws against Steelers, but just couldn't come through late. Falcons at 23. Again, kind of just what we've seen from them. Steelers climbed 3 spots to 22. Again, I know that's a 6-3 team at 22. But once again, I say every week, I'm allowed to be harsher on the Steelers than others. I did at least climb them 3 spots. Bears go up 2 to 21, and mainly they only climb because they're getting Justin Fields back, so we'll see. They won a game last week that neither team played very well, but we'll see what they are with Justin Fields healthy again. Saints, my Super Bowl pick, has fallen 3 spots to 20. Broncos, like I said, they climbed 2 spots. A lot of people are getting higher on them again. I'll put them up at 19, and we'll see where they go from here. Raiders stay put at 18, and Buccaneers win a game against Titans where they look fairly dominant, so I'm going to climb them 5 spots to 17. Again, I'm kind of a defender of Baker. I think he's played pretty well for him this year, and yeah, they're going to sit at 17. All right, so now the top half. Again, I think I like my top half. The order of it is very up in the air. Most people probably hate the order I have them in, but that's why these are my power rankings and not yours. So at 16, I left the Jets put. They stay put at 16. They are, of the top 16, the one most likely to fall out of it from their play so far. Bengals probably will because of the quarterback situation now. Losing Joe Burrow for them is rough, and they are at 15. Jaguars, I was the most harsh on anyone this week because I put them at number 1 last week. I was like, the Jaguars are the number 1 team in football now. And then they absolutely laid an egg and got destroyed by the Niners. So this was probably too harsh of a drop, but I was upset with them. So I moved them all the way down to 14. Lions, Texans, Seahawks stay put at 11, 12, and 13. All looking good. Cowboys jump 5 spots. They beat up on the Giants. This is probably an overreaction too, because when they play a bad team, they dominate them. But they did look dominant, so I'm going to move them back into the top 10, just barely. Dolphins we're going to buy. They're going to stay put at 9. And then your top 8, and there's some big question marks in here, I know. So let's get through them. Chiefs had a bye, left them at 8. Bills, like I said, they're in big trouble, and they did not look good. Yet I still have them at 7. And because, like I said when I was talking about that game, when they play their best, they can beat anybody. They are one of the more talented teams in the league. Just been disappointed with what we're seeing. So I'm not ready to completely bail on them yet, like some people are. But they need to get it going. Chargers fall 1 spot to 6. They have a losing record, and they're in my top 8. Mainly because they played a very good Lions team, and they were right there. Very much like the Bills, in my eyes, they're one of the most talented teams in football. So it's difficult for me to lower them too far because I see the guys and I know what they're capable of, and they're just not doing it. So eventually I got to bail on the Chargers, but for now I'm leaving them at 6, which again is far too high for anyone else's power rankings, because I guarantee this is the highest you see the Chargers on anyone's power rankings. I just believe they're a good roster. They need to play like it. Ravens fall 3 spots. They've looked impressive last month or so, but they did lose to the Browns in very choke-like fashion. So they're going to fall 3 spots to number 5. Niners got back on track big time after their 3-game skid. So I'm putting them back where they belong up here at 4. Vikings at 3, I know is too high. But can we talk about how cool this Josh Dobbs story is? Come on. Like, if I'm rooting for one team in the league, not the Pittsburgh Steelers right now, it's the Vikings. I love this story. I'm putting them in the top 3. Go Josh Dobbs. Go Vikings. Like, this is awesome. I hope they keep it rolling. I hope he wins a playoff game for him. Big Josh Dobbs guy. Eagles up at 2. They had a bye. This is one of the very few times, I think the first time all year I've moved a team on a bye. But I was going to put the Vikings at 2, and I'm like, okay, I can't go. 3 is high enough. I can't jump the Eagles with them, so that's why I moved the Eagles up to 2. And then your number 1 team in my power rankings this week is the Cleveland Browns. That defense is for real. They beat the division leader last week. They've had subpar quarterback play all year. And I'm going to be honest, I heard this, I think from my mom who heard it from a sports show, and I 100% agree. I think the team might have gotten better without Watson playing, specifically this week against the Steelers. Because if you have Deshaun Watson there, you're going to let him throw. And that can lead to mistakes. When you have DTR back there, who's going to be playing this week, or even PJ Walker, you're going to be less likely to throw, and you're going to lean on the run game, which is what the Browns should do. So I kind of like the Browns more now than I did last week. So they're at number 1. Steelers will beat them this week, and we got to rotate that number 1 spot again next week. But for now, the Browns are sitting at number 1. All right, so let's take a look. Let me get my record off there from last week. Let's take a look at the upcoming games for this week. So first off, we're going to start right off the bat with the Steeler game. Again, because I'm late here, not doing the Thursday game. So, what the heck? I thought I got rid of my record. Go away. There we go. Sorry about that. All right, so Steelers win this one, and really it's going to be a nasty run the ball 6-3 ball game. Neither offense can be able to do anything, and I trust TJ Watt more than Myles Garrett. So Steelers defense will make a play like we always do. We'll win a 1-score game like we always do, and probably get outgained like we always do. So Steelers win this one and improve to 7-3. Next up, we have Bears at Lions. All right. Bears and Lions here. This should be an easy pick the Lions game. Justin Fields coming back. Lions better team. Bears had a couple extra days. They're coming off Thursday. Getting Justin Fields ready. You know what? I'm going to say this is a... Who do the Lions play next week? Play the Packers. They're not really a trap game. I'm not really looking forward to the Packers. Yeah, I'm going to say the Lions slip up here. I'm actually going to pick the Bears to win on the road in Detroit. I'm going to be honest, I don't have a lot of logic behind why. This one's kind of a gut game. I just got a gut feeling Lions. Yeah, Lions are going to slip up this week. They've looked impressive all year. They're going to lay an egg this week. This is going to be their worst performance of the year, and the Bears are going to capitalize on it. This I will probably get wrong, but that's what I'm going with. Next up, we got Chargers at Packers. All right. So, this one I'm not doing anything crazy. I've talked up how good of a roster I think the Chargers have, and they need to play better. And if they want their season to go anywhere, this is a must-win. They need to win this game. Packers season's already over. They're looking ahead to the draft. So the team that needs this more is going to win it, and the better team is going to win it. I think I picked 3 road teams so far, but I'm going Chargers and Justin Herbert, and I think they're going to win with some ease. we'll see how that goes. After that, we got Raiders at Dolphins. This one's fairly easy for me. I kind of said the Dolphins were like the Cowboys of the AFC. If they play a bad team, they win. If they play a good team, they lose. The Raiders are not a very good football team. The Dolphins' offense is very scary. They get A-Chain back this week. That will add to the run game even more. Dolphins win this one big as well. So, not much more to say here. The better team wins at home with a healthier offense than they've had in past weeks. Although Mostert's a little banged up now, but I think they're both going to be playing, both running backs. And the Raiders just aren't very good. So, and this will help my fantasy team. I got Mostert and Devontae Adams. So I hope the Raiders are losing and need to throw it a bunch. Next up, we got Giants at Commanders. All right. This one's a close one, because we have two not very good teams. Yeah, I'll at least pick the not very good team with their quarterback versus the not very good team without their quarterback. So, Commanders at home with Sam Howell over Tommy DeVito. And like I said, the Giants are awful. They're just abysmal. If there's any team in the NFL that I dislike watching the most right now, it's the Giants. Like, they can't block anyone. Their offense is... This is coming from a Steeler fan that's watched our offense all year. The Giants' offense is pathetic. Like, it's bad. So, I'm going Commanders here. I don't think there's a team in the league I would pick the Giants to beat right now. Next up, we got Cowboys at Panthers. Could use the logic I just said with the Dolphins. I called them the Cowboys of the AFC. They play a bad team, they win. They play a good team, they lose. And this might be some bias because I dislike the Cowboys. But I'm actually going to say that trend stops for the Cowboys this week. And this is going to be like when they lost to the Cardinals earlier in the year. They're going to have a letdown game, and the Panthers are going to win at home. We're going to see multiple upsets this week. Lions go down, Cowboys go down. It's going to be a fun week. But yep, I'm taking the Panthers at home. Bryce Young to get his second career win, I believe. Right? They're 1-8. Yeah. Yep, it'd be a second career win. And he does it against the Cowboys. So, yep, I'm going with that. Cowboys fans will be upset. And I love it. After that, we got Titans at Jags. Two teams looking for big bounce back games. This is an interdivisional game. This one's been weird past few years. Like, you can't really predict those Titans-Jaguars games. Derrick Henry usually runs on them pretty well, and the Titans have won more often than not. But the Jaguars are so the better team. And I'm going to say the Jaguars bounce back. They find a way to stop Derrick Henry this year. And they're going to win this one at home against the Titans. Yeah, they're just a better team. Trevor Lawrence in the offense does enough, wins. Defense gets, I think, 3, maybe 4 sacks on Levis, because, again, the Titans can't block anybody. So, Jaguars win. Better team wins again, which should usually be the trend. Next up, Cardinals at Texans. So this one 2 weeks ago would have been easy. Pick the Texans. Kyler Murray's back, and that the Cardinals' offense is different. But I'm going to pick the better quarterback to win here, and that's not Kyler. That's C.J. Stroud. Texans pick up a win here. That offense has been rolling the last couple weeks. It will come back to earth. It's not going to be the 400-yard firepower passing game that Stroud's had the last few weeks, MVP-type numbers. But they're still going to look good, and they're still going to win this game. Just don't expect as crazy statistical days as you've seen from them. But Cardinals aren't very good. I guess they could keep it going one more week. But I do think they come back to earth. Run game might be a little bit better than in past weeks, actually. A little less passing. But Texans win this one at home against the Cardinals. Next up, We got Buccaneers at Niners. Yeah, Niners looked back to their unstoppable ways last week, and I don't think that's going to change just quickly. You see what their team looks like when they're healthy. I also like how I picked like 3 road teams starting. I think I picked every home team since. But yeah, the Niners are a different team when healthy. That offense is scary, and it might not even be as scary as the defense. So the Niners are the most complete team in football, and they're going to show it here. Like I said, I was kind of talking to Baker a little bit. I think he's been pretty good, and he gets a little too much hate. But this Niners is a different beast, and they ain't going in there and winning. So, Niners keep the roll going. Next up, we got Jets and Bills. 2 teams that desperately need a win. I really want to pick the Jets to sweep the Bills this year. They beat them once already, the game Rodgers went down. Bills are at home, and they have to have it. It's going to go one of 2 ways. And I think I've said this earlier in the year. I think I said this the week after the Bills lost to the Jets. Either the Bills are going to bounce back and blow the Jets out, which is what happened last time I was in this situation with the Bills, or they're going to lose this game and they're going to crumble. I think last time I picked them to lose and crumble, and I was wrong. We're going to try it again. Bills lose to Broncos and Jets in back-to-back weeks, lose 2 games to the Jets this year, and the Bills' window for a Super Bowl officially closes. For now. They still have Josh Allen. They could reopen it, but it will close. And they will need to rebuild around Josh Allen to reopen that window. Jets end the Bills' season in a way this week. That might be a little too harsh, but like I said, Bills are going to crumble after they lose to the Jets here. All right. After that, we got another divisional game. Lots of divisional games this week. We got Seahawks-Rams. Okay. Seahawks always struggle with the Rams. Even in years like this where they were the better team, even when they had the Legion of Boom and they were the best team in the league at times, and the Rams are kind of pathetic, they would still lose to the Rams. And the Rams are coming off a bye. I think they get Stafford back. Rams win at home. Seahawks drop another game to the Rams that they shouldn't. You add it to the list of all the times this happened to the Seahawks. But yeah, Rams win at home over the Seahawks. It's a divisional game. Anything can happen, and we're going to see yet another upset this week. This week is going to be bananas. If I get all these right, it will be a very crazy week. I will not get all of these right. But moving on to the Sunday night game, and all of a sudden people are pretty thrilled to see, which is weird because they wouldn't have been a month ago. We got Josh Dobbs and the Vikings versus Russ and the Broncos, who are suddenly on a roll. I've talked up Dobbs enough for you guys to know I'm all in on Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs and the Vikings win another one. Josh Dobbs becomes a folk hero in Minnesota. I see comments that people are liking him more than Kirk because he can run. I think that's a little ridiculous. Kirk's a phenomenal player. But I'm all in on the Josh Dobbs story. They end this little Broncos mini run to the playoffs that people think they might have going. Yeah, 3-0 as a Vikings starting quarterback. Couldn't find the locker room last week, but he can find the end zone. Josh Dobbs gets the win here. And then your Monday night game, the game of the week. Oh, not saying that's my pick yet. The Taylor Swift game, the Super Bowl rematch, the whatever you want to call it. Both teams coming off byes. Both teams looking forward to this game. Both teams have had ample time to prep for it. I would say neither team has kind of looked as dominant as they did last year on their run to the Super Bowl, but both are still two of the best teams in the league. Andy Reid coming off a bye is a different monster to beat. Like I said, Eagles are coming off a bye too, but head coach wise, I got more trust in Andy Reid to get his team ready for this one. I'm going to say the Chiefs win at home. They repeat the Super Bowl rematch result. And yeah, Chiefs pick up the big win on Monday Night Football. And they'll thank Taylor Swift for it somehow. So, those are my picks. Those were my power rankings. Let me know what you think of each, where I went wrong, where I went right, what you would change, what team should be higher and lower in the rankings. I love hearing other people's opinions of it. Like I said, I know my power rankings are crazy, but that's why they're mine. So let me know what you would have done with yours. Again, I hope this gets up before games start. It will probably be more likely right as the first set of games are going. So whenever it does, I hope you did enjoy when you saw it. And if you did, please do like and subscribe to both the channel and the video. Really do appreciate it. Come back next week for next week's video. Check out some of my other videos. But yeah, all that being said, I hope you all have a good day and a good night. And I'll catch you in a future video. Bye, guys.